Hey everybody, welcome back to Comic Crow. And I've got to talk about this article, but I don't think it really surprises anybody. Marvel Studios casting director confirms studio will continue to embrace the representation and diversity agenda that is slowly killing the MCU. Now, let me be very clear. It's not so much that they're, providing representation and diversity. These are comic books, okay? There are characters of all different races and both men and women. So you could actually do this, but the way that Marvel has chosen to go about it is they hire people that don't like the comics, don't like the characters, basically know nothing about them, right? But they're feminist. So we give them the female project. Right? And because they have no talent and no fucking care, they just start burning everything down around them while pushing an ideological agenda. Okay? And you can't deny that they haven't done it. I've already cited it. If you look at the Phase 4 movies, look at every single villain in those movies. Okay? If it's a white guy, they can be heinous, evil, a complete monster. All right? No justification for why they are so insane and crazy, right? You just do it. Then you look at the Black Widow film, right? Who's the evil guy at the top? It's a white guy that looks like Harvey Weinstein. Who's Taskmaster? She's an innocent, abused woman who's been forced to do all of this. Yeah, so they justify the actions of who is supposed to be the main villain because she's a woman. What else? Well, actually, this isn't even Phase 4. What about Ant-Man 2? Okay, they replace Ghost, make it a woman, okay, and then they justify every single action she commits by saying that she was going to die, and if she hadn't have done it, she would have died. Or how about Doctor Strange: Multiverse of Madness? Who turned out to be the big evil villain in that film? Wanda, right? Lady. So she is psychotic. She straight up murders people, tortures them. And then they give her a redemption arc, right? When she chooses not to be evil anymore and accept that her children are no longer there. And that's why she was doing it. It's because of her children. Namor, okay? Namor in the Black Panther Wakanda Forever film, right? I didn't like the movie, all right? But you have a Latino actor who's playing the main villain, and what do? They justify every single thing that he did. In fact, in the first Black Panther, they kind of went and justified most of the stuff Killmonger was doing when he's like, well, it's because you kept all of this to yourself. Well, black people are suffering, right? Like, that was his justification. Like, I'm just saying, they keep putting in minority and female villains, or really, let's just say what it is. They're antagonists. They're not even villains. And then they justify every heinous and evil thing that they do in the movie, right? With seriously zero fucking care for how it actually plays out. But yeah, they have this ideological driven agenda. They're sitting on top of a mountain, a literal fucking mountain of money. Look, for the next 5 to 10 years, if they lose money on every single project, they'll just keep doing it, right? Until the money dries up, they are just going to keep doing it. Occasionally we'll have like a show that's popular, like this isn't really MCU. I would say Star Wars had like The Mandalorian to recover from a lot of the stuff they were doing. So Marvel's going to have a show or a movie that comes out. Like, look, I'll be honest. I watched the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special. It was wholesome. It was sweet, okay? It wasn't this big thing, but it was actually really nice to see, and it kind of reminded me of why I liked the MCU in the first place. But then I'm just reminded of everything else that's been dropping from them, and I'm like, you guys do not care. Like, because they're still making some money on these projects. Are they making as much as they used to? No. Are they seeing all these profit drops? Yes. Is that going to convince them that, hey, maybe we're not doing what the fans actually want? They don't give a shit because the fans are wrong. They know it's right. You will accept it. They're in control now. Marvel Studios casting director Sarah Finn recently confirmed that the film production company will continue to embrace the representation diversity agenda that has seen the Marvel Cinematic Universe fall into decline during Phase 4, a phase that was unceremoniously killed early by Marvel Studios boss Kevin Feige. Yeah, because it's not working. Speaking with the Wrap, Finn lied about the diversity and representation agenda not being a proclamation. She said it wasn't, from my experience, a proclamation. I don't know how you can say that. There is literally a female version for every single character in the original Avengers now. That's been portrayed in the MCU. Okay, and some of them have directly started taking over those roles. Okay. And when I look at that, I just go, this is kind of ridiculous. This is a little ridiculous. Look, I think that there's plenty of improvements you can make on the original cast of the Avengers. But because they are chasing the diversity and representation angle instead, what we have is the multicultural Avengers, which will be in Avengers 4. And some of these characters just are not interesting to put into to put into it, okay? Some of them just really are not interesting. And they completely butchered the Hulk, but that's another story. But yeah, it's a proclamation. It's what they want to do. It's what they feel is best. Right? And they can shield themselves from any criticism because the moment the film comes out, the moment it's trash, they say, oh, we're being review bombed by racist. We're being review bombed by misogynist. It's not true, but it doesn't matter. They have every avenue to just keep lying to people and make you feel bad if you don't support them, because that means you're one of the bad people. However, the Walt Disney Company, who is the parent company of Marvel Studios, has made it very clear that they do indeed have quotas and have made numerous proclamations about pushing their diversity and representation agenda. On their Reimagine Tomorrow website, the first thing you see is a message that reads, "At Disney, inclusion is for everyone." Reimagine Tomorrow is our way of amplifying underrepresented voices and untold stories, as well as championing the importance of accurate representation in media and entertainment. Because we are all greater than a single story, and we all deserve to feel seen, heard, and understood. See, here's the problem when you put out a message like that. I think the best person should be cast for the role. And look, I remember when the original Daredevil came out, which is an awful fucking movie. Okay, it's really bad. And nobody is on point with the acting. And then Kingpin is that big black guy, right? And look, it fits for the movie that they were doing, right? Because he doesn't act like Kingpin at all, right? But it fits for that movie that they're doing. And as bad as that film is, I think a lot of people remember it. And I remember it. I don't have like all these memories of hating it. It's kind of funny. All right. It's a little funny. Especially the bullseye guy. Like, that was really good. Like, not from a comic book accuracy standpoint, but from a, wow, I can't believe they actually put a fucking bullseye engraved into the skin on his forehead. But my point of bringing this up is, if you're going to tell people that you have racial quotas, right, that means inherently you're not casting the best person for the role. You're going to pass on certain actors who fit the role better so that you can instead promote diversity, inclusion, and equity. I don't think that is a good thing at all, because again, when the quote unquote evil, bigoted racists show up and criticize your project and they say, hey, the actor you hired is ass and you only did it based on skin color, well, you can't really start screaming that they're being racist. They're telling the truth. It's your own words being thrown right back in your face. And if I'm like one of these actors, right, I probably don't care about any of that. I'm just happy with the paycheck. And I'll go along with whatever I need to so I can make sure that I'm paid well and I'm signed up with the MCU, which again, I think still has another 5 to 10 years before people really start revolting. Okay? Because we've already seen it with Phase 4, and I guarantee you, ideologues do not change. They only dig deeper. It is going to get worse. If you thought She-Hulk was bad, I guarantee you it will get worse. If you thought Thor Love and Thunder was bad, it will get worse. If you thought Multiverse of Madness, basically removing Doctor Strange as a competent man, a competent individual, right? And instead giving us this complete idiot that doesn't progress the story forward at all, questions basic things that he really shouldn't, given that he's a goddamn, like, wizard, right? If you have problems with seeing them basically reduce his IQ by about 60 points, okay? It is going to get worse. It is going to keep getting worse. I think the only films that the MCU has that they can't actually fuck up the way that they're doing for everything else would be Spider-Man. Okay? And that's specifically because Sony has say in what goes on there, and they cannot have the MCU destroy one of the only profitable franchises that they have. I think that's your only safe bet from anything the MCU puts out. But I guarantee you, Marvel is going to demand and push and try everything they can to introduce a new female character that is going to upshine Peter Parker, because that's what you need. That's what you need. You need it in every single film and in every single TV show. The men are incompetent, lazy, stupid, generally don't know what's fucking going on around them. And the women are deep and complex. And, they're evil little bitches. But at the same time, it's because the world has been oppressing them. Yeah, there's a reason why that doesn't work in a fucking superhero franchise. I like villains that you can kind of understand where they're coming from, but the point is that they're still evil and they're still doing heinous and awful things, and the ends do not justify the means. But when you talk to an ideologue, especially a left-wing ideologue, the ends will always justify the means as long as they are the ends that they want. So apparently now it's been updated, though. It has since been updated and now reads, "We are committed to inspiring a more inclusive world by reimagining the way we tell stories and who tells them. Our intention is to broaden access and diversity in our industry by adopting inclusion standards." Just say equity. Just say equity. You've already done diversity and inclusion. You have to say equity now. Okay? Because it's die, it's death, and you're killing your franchises. You figure they'd learn after Star Wars, but again, Disney has so much cash to burn through, and at the very, very top, you have pure ideologues directing all of this. However, it also includes ABC Entertainment's inclusion standards, which calls for 50% or more of regular and recurring written characters come from underrepresented groups. Not only do characters have to come from underrepresented groups, but 50% of actors should as well. The standards also include quotas for producers, writing staff, directors, and ironically, casting directors. Well, there you go. That is why you are being destroyed. Okay, that's why their entire thing is going to collapse out from under them. Give it time. The sales are already dropping, and I don't want to hear any garbage about, well, it's superhero, it's worn out. People are getting tired. Man, they said that 5 to 10 years ago, and then we had Endgame and Infinity War. So obviously they're wrong. You had Spider-Man No Way Home. Obviously, they're wrong. People do want superhero films. People want that basic story. People like the hero's journey. People like seeing the good guys get pushed and resist and never back down on what they believe in. That's what they fucking want. Instead, we have justification for some of the most heinous and evil acts that you will ever fucking see. And I think a lot of it is because you're not casting people, you're not hiring people based on who is the best for the role. You're sitting there going, man, we need more women in this one. Just get whoever's the cheapest lady available, right? Like some $3 fucking crack whore down the street. And just like a $3 crack whore down the street, these women are 100% destroying anything that they touch. I don't know, guys. I think we all know that this has been a major problem for a very long time with the MCU, with our media in general, okay? I don't think that there's any fixing it. I don't think that there's a light at the end of the tunnel for Disney or for the MCU or for any of this stuff. At the end of the day, they are not seeking an audience that actually enjoys the content. They're seeking an audience that agrees with the content. And that matters to them more than anything.